Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the 842nd Ordinary Council meeting held on the 18th of February 2026. I declare this meeting open at 10 a.m. and would like to advise attendees that this meeting is being webcast and audio recorded. I would now like to invite Charlie and SJ from Kingston State School, which Councillor Lane informs me is the best school in the world or the country. The mightiest school in the world, to come up and do a acknowledgement to country for us. Thanks, guys.
All the way around, right? You don't need to turn it on.
When do I start? We would like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the shared lands of the Guggen and Yuggera people, which we learn, live and play. We pay our respects to elders, past, present and emerging.
We thank them for caring and supporting our lands, their connections to animals and waterways, and their continued sharing of knowledge and culture. We would like to extend our respect to all First Nations people in our Kingston community from across Australia and who join us from around the globe. May we walk gently on this land.
Amazing work, kids. Thank you very much. And you're welcome to hang around if you like. I know that council meetings are super exciting for everyone, especially school leaders. I'd now like to introduce a very good friend of mine who's walked in with the most perfect timing of all, Imam Akram Bush from the Slacks Creek Unity Centre, to come and give a reflection of faith to open our meeting. Imam, if you'd like to come up to the lectern, you've just got to do the long lap, because we've got the video equipment in the way these days. Thank you very much. If everyone could rise while Imam speaks and offers a prayer, that would be fantastic.
Good morning. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. May the peace and blessings of the Almighty be with all of you. As we approach the blessed holy month of Ramadan, a very important month for Australian Muslims, I will recite a few verses from our Holy Quran regarding this blessed month. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن هدى للناس وبينات من الهدى والفرقان فمن شهد منكم الشهر فليصم ومن كان مريضا أو على سفر فعدة من أيام أخر يريد الله بكم اليسر ولا يريد بكم العسر ولتكملوا العدة ولتكبروا الله على ما هداكم ولعلكم تشكرون وإذا سألك عبادي عني فإني قريب أجيب دعوة الداع إذا دعان فليستجيبوا لي وليؤمنوا بي لعلهم يرشدون. In the name of God, the most gracious, the most merciful. The city of Logan is more than a place that we live. It is a community of hearts, cultures, and shared hopes. It is a community that is built upon diversity, resilience, and the spirit of neighbors supporting one another through both challenges and celebrations. Our strength lies in our unity, when we respect one another, care for the vulnerable, and work together for the common good. We create a community where every family feels safe, valued, and inspired to contribute. Let us continue to build the beautiful Logan as a city of compassion, understanding, and harmony, where differences are respected, kindness is practiced, and peace is nurtured in our homes, our streets, and most importantly, our hearts. Dear respected members of the Logan City Council, we pray, may the city of Logan be blessed with peace, safety, and prosperity. May its leaders be guided with wisdom and justice. May its families be strengthened with love and stability. May its youth grow with hope, purpose, and strong values. And may our community always be united in respect, God will, and care for one another. May this city continue to flourish as a place of opportunity, harmony, and shared success for all, with prayers of peace and blessing upon the Logan City Council. Thank you.
Thank you. You may all be seated. Thank you, Imam, for those kind words. And I know that the lead up to Ramadan is the most busy time of year for you. And while the Unity Centre might not be in Division 2, the Imam is a proud resident of Woodridge. So he's right on the boundary. I was just thinking about this as I was about to say that. But thank you, Imam. You're welcome to stay, but we understand if your duties have you to leave. Councillors, let me to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land on which we meet and their elders past and present. I'll now move to attendances and leaves of absence, of which we have none, though I have received a message from Councillor Fraser that he will be running late due to a medical appointment and he will attend via Teams as soon as he is able. Councillors, will now move to condolences. I've not received any condolence motions from any councillors. Would anyone like to raise one now? There being none, we will now rise to observe a moment of reflection in honour of those who have gone before us and support of those they have left behind. Thank you, everyone. You may be seated. I now open the floor for congratulations requests. Do any councillors have any congratulations to raise? Councillor Bradley? Councillor Lane?
Thanks very much, Mr Mayor, and sorry I'm at the start of a hot flush. The wonderful menopause has got me in its grips today. So there's always a love story to be told in our community. There's always a story of building, togetherness, hope, dreams, and none speaks it louder than Inho and Jung Suk. They met many, many years ago in a country far, far away, and they immigrated to Australia. They had their family here, they had the most amazing time together, and in their later life they decided to take a chance and open a business. And the business is, well, no, let me go to the first part. Their nicknames were Harry and Sally. So when they decided to open a business, they called it When Harry Met Sally. And Harry and Sally opened their business in Underwood to a very grateful community. In fact, it was so well attended because the meal qualities were so high that they actually had waiting lines out the front of their little restaurant. And during COVID, they stayed open. They made sure that they serviced our community, and they're going to retire. So they announced their retirement after 9 years in the business here in Logan. They're so proud of their Logan family. They're so proud of the support that they received, and they are very honoured to be a part of our Logan community. And I don't think that they're ever going to forget the opportunities and the prosperity that was afforded by the Logan community to their family. So I want to wish them the best of success in their retirement, and I would like to welcome the new owners of the property who I'm yet to meet, and I hope that our community gets behind them as much as they did with Harry and Sally. Now, Mr Mayor, my second congratulations started when I opened my email on Monday to see the launch of the new City Pride campaign. And people say that imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. To me, it suggests that copying someone else's actions, style or work indicates a deep admiration, respect and desire to emulate them. More than a decade ago, I sat in a room with Jim Chalmers, Aaron Broughton, Mitchell Watt, Christelle Lane and Lisa Banyard as we worked on a public campaign called Local Legends, a program of acknowledgement and an award that recognised the best of local people who make significant impact and positive impacts in our community. We called on the community to nominate people, and absolute legends were put forward, including Samuel Glancy, Nat Miller, Sherry Austin, Di Flack, Bernice Volts, Jeff and Wendy Smith, and hundreds more in the time since. Now, some 12 years later, it's a wonderful reflection of the power of Jim Chalmers' campaign that Logan City Council has chosen to follow closely in his footsteps and create a public campaign called Logan Legends. A campaign that recognises the efforts of community members who make our area a better place because of their efforts. Our city is a place of wonderful stories, winning against adversity and building a space where everyone is welcome. When a formula works, you really don't mess with it. And I note that Council has some local greats already on its launch page. Locals like Nikki Paddy, whom June bestowed an award a number of years ago. Then there's Justin Guiange, who was again a recipient of Jim's Local Legends Award for his work with Mates in Construction. Justin was so excited to receive that award from Jim, he actually penned a poem, and I want to read it for you today. I'm proud to live in Logan, a top place that I call home. It's a cracking destination that has exponentially grown, with over 230 cultures in the south side melting pot, and the gift of this kaleidoscope, awesome folk who care a lot. We have our share of champions who've conquered sport and art, but today we celebrate legends who more than daily play their part. People who've made memories by serving decades at a club, and folks who help the homeless by giving blankets and hot grub. Kids who are helping kids with school supplies and hope, while those angels of the fragile provide support for them to cope. Sorry, sweaty fingers, so it's not working for me. We've warriors protecting animals and those who keep our city clean, volunteers and libraries and the SES Dream Team. The region's so much better because of everything they do. They're the heart and soul of Logan, dead set champions through and through. I'm grateful to Jim Chalmers, our local legend, our MP, that despite working on a national budget, he has a heart for community. He yearly honours Logan and the folks who make it great, taking time to recognise us all, even with his loaded plate. I thank Jim and every one of you for the gifts that you all share, for you represent our city with authenticity and care. I'm proud to be your neighbour and I'm grateful every day for all you local Logan legends who make life better in every way. Now, call me cheeky, Mayor, but I think one of the first nominees for this City Pride campaign should be the original architect from where this idea sprang from. So our hard-working and wonderful federal member for Rankin, Jim Chalmers, should be spotlighted in this Pride campaign. I think it's only fair. What say you?
Yeah, you must be reading my mind, Councillor Lane. As you were singing Jim's praises, I was like, I think we should see if we can nominate Jim.
I think maybe you should.
We're not meant to nominate, we're meant to put people forward because it's not a competition. We're just celebrating success, and Jim's a great local story of someone who grew up in Logan and has done pretty well for himself these days. Awesome. And we'd love to celebrate him. Councillor Russell.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have not brought any poetry with me today, but maybe next month. I would love to congratulate Kayla McCormick, who I have actually congratulated here before. She continues to blaze her own trail of excellence in her chosen sport of BMX freestyle. As I reported here in Council last year, Kayla has recently returned from the UK training camp where she qualified in first position in the elite female category. Unfortunately, she was unable to compete on the final day due to illness, and after a delayed recovery, she returned to Australia. Kayla, showing the tough spirit of a true Loganite, I grew up here, I'm allowed to say that, has just competed here in her home city where she took out the title of Elite Female at the Oz Cycling BMX Freestyle State Championships. It's a bit of a mouthful. So it was held here on Saturday, January the 31st. A hometown win. Maybe she should get nominated too.
Maybe she should.
Congratulations, Kayla, and well done. Not only do you make Division 3 proud, but your entire city of Logan proud as well.
Great work, Kayla, and thank you, Councillor Russell. We'll make sure that's forwarded on. Councillor St Ledger, Councillor Jackson, Councillor Hall, Councillor Jeremiah, Bannon, Stemp, Wilcox, Murphy. Excellent. Well done, everyone. Thank you. We'll now move on to the confirmation of the previous minutes of the ordinary council meeting held on the 28th of January. I'll move the motion on the screen. Would someone like to second that motion? Thank you, Councillor St Ledger. All those in favour, please raise your hand. That has been carried unanimously. Thank you, councillors. We'll now move to declarations of conflicts of interest. Do any councillors have any new conflicts of interest that have arisen since the committee round that they'd like to declare at this time? There being none, we'll move to business arising from the minutes, and we have none. So we'll get into the committee minutes and recommendations. I'll begin with the City Infrastructure Committee and call on the chair of that committee, Deputy Mayor Bannon, to speak to his report.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I now move that the recommendations of the City Infrastructure Committee meeting held on the 10th of February be adopted.
Thank you, Councillor Bannon. Do any other councillors wish to speak to the recommendations in that report? There being none, Councillor Bannon has moved the motion. Would someone like to second the motion on the screen for me, please? Thank you, Councillor St Ledger. All those in favour, please raise your hand. That has been carried unanimously. Thank you. You're up. Thank you, councillors. Would any councillors like to mark their name against or abstain against any items in that report? No. We'll now move to City Governance Committee meeting held on the 10th of February. Councillor Jackson, chairperson of that committee, you may proceed.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Last Tuesday, the City Governance Committee met to consider 8 reports. Among the items considered was the quarterly financial and KPI update from the City of Logan Charitable Trust. The quarterly investment report for the period ending 31 December was discussed. The local infrastructure report for February 2026 was presented, outlining 3 new proposed projects that covered works from new bus shelters to footpaths. The updated debt policy was presented, which included amendments to explicitly incorporate the terms and value of the proposed working capital facility. A report on council expenses for the period ending 31 December was also considered. And lastly, Q2 updates were presented for both the operational plan and digital transformation program.
Thank you, Councillor Jackson. Did anyone else wish to speak to any recommendations in that report? There being none, Councillor Jackson, you may move your report.
I so move.
Councillor Jackson has moved the motion on the screen. Would someone like to second that motion for me, please? Councillor St Ledger is quick on the seconding today. Councillor St Ledger has seconded that. All those in favour, please raise your hand. That has been carried unanimously. Thank you, councillors. Would any councillors like to record the name against or abstain? Councillor Bradley, please let us know which reports.
Thank you. Through you, Mr Mayor. Could my name be recorded as abstain for 6.1? And I gave a reason. It's in the report.
Thank you, Councillor Bradley. That will be noted. Councillor Russell.
Thank you, Mayor. I also actually voted against the 6.1, the City of Logan Charitable Trust.
Thank you, Councillor Russell. That will be noted. And Councillor Jeremiah.
Against 6.4, the debt policy.
Thank you, Councillor Jeremiah. That will be noted as well. There were no other councillors. Excellent. We'll now move on to the City Planning, Economic Development and Environment meeting, committee meeting held on the 11th of February. Councillor Stemp, chairperson of that meeting, you may proceed.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. We just had 2 reports this round, with the UELab half-yearly report for the period 1st of June to the 31st of December, which highlighted the events and achievements of UELab in the last 6-month period, and a confidential waste collection contract renewal report, which contained information that will form part of a future commercial tender process. Therefore, can't be discussed any further. Thank you, Mr Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Stemp. Do any other councillors wish to speak to the recommendations of that report? There being none, Councillor Stemp, you may move the motion.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I now move that the recommendations of the City Planning, Economic Development and Environment Committee meeting held on the 11th of February be adopted. Councillor
Stemp has moved the motion on the screen. Would someone like to second that motion for me? Thank you, Councillor St Ledger. He will second every motion today. This is the decision of the council. All those in favour, please raise your hand. That has been carried unanimously. Thank you, councillors. Would any of the councillors like to abstain or mark their name against? Councillor Wilcox.
I would just like to apologise to Dave Hanson, Councillor Stamp and the rest of the councillors for abruptly running out of committee that day for a family emergency, so I do apologise.
Completely understand, and thank you for your apology, Councillor Wilcox. Family has to come first. City Lifestyle... Oh, sorry, Councillor Bradley, did you want to mark your name against or abstain? Sorry.
Thank you. Through you, Mr Mayor, can my name be recorded 6.1 as abstain, and I gave a reason. It's in the report. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Bradley. That will be noted. We now move to the City Lifestyle Committee held on the 11th of February. Councillor Hall, chairperson of that committee, you may proceed.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I'll now speak to the recommendations. At last week's City Lifestyle Committee meeting, Council considered 4 reports. The first report, titled Abandoned and Derelict House Research, Finding and Recommendations, delivered an overview of how abandoned and derelict properties are being managed across the city, with a number of recommendations for improvements. The findings sparked a lengthy and productive question and answer session. Councillors supported the majority of the recommendations, including the desire for commercial properties to be considered as part of the work moving forward. And this was a unique one because this was originally going to be a confidential report, and the officers found that it was possible that we could put it as a public report, and they did everything they could to make sure that the conversation and the report was held in public, and I think that's a good thing for transparency in local government, to make as many reports as we possibly can in the public. Next, councillors received 2 reports relating to Q2, covering the 1st of October to the 31st of December 2025, from the Parks branch and from the Sports and Community Infrastructure branch. Both reports showcase an impressive list of recently completed projects, including upgrades to clubhouses, sporting field lighting, landscaping in dog off-leash areas, new park water fountains, dual netball and basketball courts, and much, much more. Both branches also outlined the progress on projects currently in the pipeline. Councillors expressed strong appreciation for the high quality of facilities being delivered across the city, thanking both branches for their continued commitment to supporting Logan's sporting clubs and the wider community. Finally, the Venues and Events branch presented the major events plan, outlining an ambitious new strategy designed to elevate Logan's event offerings and attract major destination-level events to our city. Thank you, Mr Mayor. I now move that recommendations of the City Lifestyle Committee meeting held on the Wednesday, 11th February be adopted.
Thank you, Councillor Hall. Does anyone else wish to speak to those recommendations? There being none, Councillor Hall has moved the motion. I trust that Councillor St Ledger... No, it's also Councillor St Ledger first. I have a blind spot now. I can only see Councillor St Ledger for the purposes of seconding motions. That motion has been seconded. All those in favour, please raise your hand. That has been carried unanimously. Thank you, councillors. Did any councillors wish to record their name against or abstain? Thank you, Councillor Stemp.
Mr Mayor, I abstained from 6.1 and provided a reason.
Thank you, Councillor Stemp. That will be noted. Was there anyone else? No. Excellent. Councillors, we'll now move to council reports. We have 1 council report to consider today, which is item 10.1, being the Deputy Mayor vote for 2026. Before we move into any discussion, I would like to acknowledge that in accordance with section 150 EFG... Oh, hello, Councillor Fraser, excellent timing. EFGIII of the Local Government Act 2009. This item is considered ordinary business. Therefore, conflicts of interest are not required to be called or notified, and all councillors can participate in the discussion and participate on the vote, even if they are nominated for Deputy Mayor. Mr Darren Scott, Chief Executive Officer, will now speak to the report.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Good morning, everybody. Councillors would have received on the 3rd of February a call for nominations for the position of Deputy Mayor. I've received 1 nomination from Councillor Bannon. The local government legislation doesn't specify a process by which you would adopt or determine a preferred candidate. There's 2 options. One is by a secret ballot or by a show of hands. So the first step in our process is for you to determine that process and by resolution. So if there's a preferred nomination for the position, there'd need to be a council resolution to then appoint the Deputy Mayor. Mr Mayor, if you can run it from here.
Yep. Thank you, Mr CEO. Councillor Bradley, did you have a question for the CEO?
If I may, I would prefer to have a raise of hands, if I could move that.
I'll get to that in due course, Councillor Bradley. Thank you, and note that you want to move that. So at the moment we only have one nominee, so there's no need to conduct a ballot. We'll just move straight to the vote unless any other councillors wish to nominate from the floor for the position of Deputy Mayor. There being none, thank you very much for making my life easier and not conducting a vote about how we would have to vote. Then I now move, while I scroll through my script, to a motion that is on the screen, which will take the meeting team a moment to endorse the only nominee as the new Deputy Mayor.
So straight to the resolution.
There is a motion on the screen, one that in accordance with section, it'll change in a moment because it'll nominate Councillor Bannon. There we go. That in accordance with section 1653 of the Local Government Act 2009, the office of Deputy Mayor be declared vacant, and that 2, in accordance with section 1655 of the Local Government Act 2009, that Council appoint Councillor Bannon as Deputy Mayor. Councillor Bannon, would you like to speak to the motion? Perhaps to say thank you? I was going to give you a 5-minute waffle, but I reckon you can say thank you in less than a minute.
Yeah, I don't need 5 minutes, Mr. Mayor. It's like the election, right, when you went unopposed. I don't know if I've done a good job or I've made it look that hard that no one else wanted to do it. So I'm far from perfect. I know that better than anyone, but I tried my hardest. I've tried to be there when everyone's needed me. No idea who voted for me, obviously, so I've never asked anyone if they're going to vote for me. The biggest thing for me is to thank you to the building, because the amount of staff I've had come up and hope that I got in the same position means a lot to me. So it's not just, this isn't a public election, obviously, this is councils, but the support of the building means a lot to me because, you know, I pride myself in having a good relationship there. Thank you to, no one voted for me, so thank you to everyone.
Thank you to everyone who didn't vote against me. How's that sound? Thank you very much, Councillor Bannon. Councillor Bradley wishes to speak to the report.
Yes, thank you, through you, Mr. Mayor. And I want to sincerely thank Councillor Bannon for talking to me for the last few months. I am very grateful for that. I strongly encourage you now to talk to Councillor Wilcox. You haven't spoken to her for the whole of this term, according to you yesterday. So please be fair across the board to every councillor. I am a bit disappointed that no one else nominated. I would have liked to, and I said this at the start of the term, I'd like to see everyone grow and evolve as councillors, because not always will all of us be here, and we've got to leave this legacy to someone else. So nothing against you personally, Councillor Bannon. I would just like to see someone else have nominated.
Thank you, Councillor Bradley. Does anyone else wish to speak to the report? Thank you, Councillor Hall.
I'd just like to say I've put my hands up a few times, but I believe Councillor Bannon's done a good job, and if he'd done any less of a good job, I would have put my hand up, but I'm pretty confident in where the Deputy Mayor sits. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Hall. Councillor Lane.
Thanks very much, Mr. Mayor. And I'm a bit reactive today. We both know that. I've got the sweats. But anyone here could have stuck their hand up and nominated for Deputy Mayor. No one chose to. They're including you, Councillor Bradley, including you, chose not to nominate. That's not a reflection on Councillor Bannon. That's a reflection on the room, and that we're happy with the job that he's doing, or we're satisfied with the work that he's undertaken for the city. And quite frankly, in my division, we've benefited from having Councillor Bannon as a Deputy Mayor. So it's not about people not stepping up, it's about people deciding whether or not they're happy with what's going on. And I think that reflection today is in the room that says we're happy with what's going on. That's my take from it. I know everyone's got their own. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Lane. Would any other councillors like to speak to the report? I'll just take the opportunity to say thank you very much for your service for the last 2 years, Councillor Bannon, and put out there that if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So you've been doing a great job and making my role as Mayor much easier to focus on the citywide and strategic matters with your support to be able to work with councillors and work with stakeholders in the community, which I'm very, very grateful for. And I think that the city is well served by the work that you've been doing, some great initiatives that you've personally championed, which I think is wonderful. But as you said, no one's perfect. We all try to do our jobs better every day, and I'm sure you'll get lots of opportunities to improve over the next 2 years. Congratulations. I'm very happy to move the motion on the screen. I trust that Councillor St Ledger will want to second that motion, as he has every motion in this meeting. All those in favour, please raise your hand. That has been carried unanimously with the exception of Councillor Bradley. How do you vote?
Thank you. Through you, Mr Mayor. I wish to abstain and give a reason why. I would have preferred that all councillors have a go at Deputy Mayor. I actually stated that at the start of this term, that I would like to see everyone have one year rotating around as Deputy Mayor for that experience. And no disrespect to Councillor Bannon, no personal attack on him. That is just my stance. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Bradley. And Councillor Wilcox.
Against.
Thank you, Councillor Wilcox. The motion has been carried. We'll now move on. Sorry. Oh, sorry, Councillor Fraser, how did you vote? Sorry, mate.
Yeah, I'm for, sorry. Yeah, I've been dropping in and out, unfortunately.
Thank you. The record will note that Councillor Fraser voted for the motion. Thank you, everyone. We'll now move on to late reports, of which we have none. To petitions, we have no petitions to consider at this time, as Councillor Bradley likes to say, and no consideration of notified motions. Councillor Bradley, normally in February we would start with Division 2, but you were unavailable to start. You weren't in attendance last month. I didn't want you to miss out. So, Councillor Bradley, you will begin for Councillor Division 1.
Thank you. Through you, Mr Mayor. As you know, I wasn't in our informal meeting yesterday, and it was my understanding that councillor advisors were told they couldn't go into that informal meeting. I really don't understand the purpose of having advisors if they can't act as councillors. I thought that was the whole purpose of having them, that they could actually give us advice of how to respond, how to vote, or potentially, give us information. So I really can't understand the rationale. I did talk to a number of councillors yesterday after the meeting, and it's my understanding that some councillors were spoken to by yourself to exclude the advisors, and I was given a reason of apparently something was leaked. I really can't understand the rationale for that, because council advisors are actually under the same code of conduct as councillors. So I hope we get to the bottom of this, and you didn't speak to me, Mr Mayor, but I would have expressed that to you.
Thank you, Councillor Bradley. Can I just ask the City Solicitor if councillor advisors are legally able to act on behalf of a councillor? I understood that that wasn't the case.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. No, that isn't the case.
Thank you. Just wanted to clarify that for the record.
Can I just retract that wording, because they can act to a certain degree on behalf of the councillor?
I'll take the City Solicitor's advice that they can't act on behalf of a councillor. And advisors is a term for people watching at home. Advisors is a term given to us by the state government because they couldn't quite describe that position. What each advisor does is different based on the needs of the councillor. Some advisors do provide advice of all sorts of other kinds. Some advisors are diary managers and excellent personal assistants, and others are community engagement specialists. So everybody has a different purpose for their advisor, and the term advisor is an unusual one, but it's given to us by law, so we must have it. But not all councillor advisors give advice, but many do. So, Councillor Lane.
Thank you very much, Mr Mayor. Okay, general business. I love general business because it's a chance to toot what's happening in the community. Upcoming events, Saturday the 28th of February, Logan City Symphony Orchestra, Heroes, Villains and Dreamers is on. Yeah, I got my tickets. Councillor Jackson's got his. I don't know who else got theirs. 4th of March, we've got the Division 2 Morning Tea in Kingston. Saturday the 7th of March, the Festival of Hmong at the Living Museum at KBF. Lunar New Year, what a wonderful opportunity to get out and about and celebrate the Year of the Horse. In many cultures, the horse symbolises energy, strength, freedom and determination. So may the Year of the Horse bring everybody abundant health, good luck and prosperity to you and your loved ones. Ramadan starts. So Ramadan is a period when families and communities come together. I wish everyone observing Ramadan a peaceful and meaningful month. Ramadan Mubarak to all of our Muslim community. Now, Mr Mayor, it's kind of halfway through the period of the election cycle, and I want to give an update. So since I was elected in 2020, I inherited 13 buildings, and some of them were not in the best of shape, some of them were derelict. And we've set about on a process of actually rejuvenating those buildings, making sure that the community has a space to activate and be comfortable in. And then in between, we've been doing road safety projects, most recently on Dart Avenue, on Ariel Avenue, on Lingrove Street and Barden Road, in conjunction with Division 5, Councillor Jackson tipped in some money. Good job, thanks very much. And when there's money left over, I have other requests from the community, upgrading sporting clubs and making sure that fields are on track. But I've also got the thing of footpaths, and the dreaded footpaths that happen in our community. I'm fortunate in that my predecessor spent a bucket load on footpaths. So I'm actually quite blessed when it comes to having footpaths in my community. But I do get requests. I do get requests for upgrades, improvements and new footpaths in the area of Underwood. So since being elected, we've done Talgander Street, Woodridge, Springvale Circuit and Zuleika Drive, Underwood, Cascade Drive, Underwood, Flinders Street and Logan Central, Elm Park in Woodridge, Logan Brothers Rugby League Club, Logan Central Cenotaph. We've done Parkdale Park, and that's all in between. When we find the savings out of the local infrastructure program budget, this is what it's meant for, and I spend that on footpaths and other things that the community asks for. I reckon we've done a fair bit in Division 2. I'm really proud of the activation that our community services, that our sporting clubs are doing, because they're not just open for when it suits them, they're open during the day for the community. We've put solar on roofs and we're looking at batteries next to save them the cost and make sure that all of their programs stay affordable. So I say to the residents of Division 2, if you've got something you want done, give us a yell. I might say no, I might say yes. We've got priorities, and if we've got savings, we get to spend them in the community, and most times those savings go towards footpaths and improvements in our community. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Lane. Councillor Russell, Councillor St Ledger, did you rise to second something?
Not this time, Mr Mayor. Just trying to talk about our community, especially in Division 4, has a lot of people that are just doers and do some really cool stuff. I've got a resident, Tim Wood. So Tim is a unique character and a great person to boot. He rode professionally for Red Bull in the BMX for 10 years overseas, and that passion's passed on to his 3 boys as well. So I don't know how his lovely wife doesn't have a heart attack watching what they do in the backyard. But rather than want, Tim's a doer, and he's literally built an Olympic standard ramps and things in his backyard for his young son and brothers. But his young son Rod is actually in our Olympic training team. And just last weekend, through his contacts, the Chinese national team were out here training. So their coach got in contact with Tim because they were our colleagues from that. So we had right here in Div 4 in Logan, the Chinese national team, accompanied by their her name escapes me, and I don't think I could do it any justice trying to pronounce it, but the current female world champion. And just watching how they interacted and what they did, it just really shows that we've got some really great people doing some great things and bringing opportunities like that to Logan that we don't all know about, but they're there and they're happening. And I really want to take my hat off to them that they're doing. And it's really great to have that involvement there as well. One other thing, Councillor Bradley, I would probably, if I was to give you any advice, I get advice when I'm coaching young juniors in football and they ask, how do I do blah, 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 and my...
Point of order.
1 sec. What's your point of order, Councillor Bradley?
What's the relevance of this?
It's general business. There is no relevance. Carry on, Councillor St Ledger.
Yeah.
It's probably a good way to...
Excuse me, Mr Mayor.
There is no point of order, Councillor Bradley. There's no report to speak to.
Well, I understand we all have extremely busy diaries and we're out there fighting for our communities. If we turn up to our informal councils and our breakfasts and things, we get those details from the horse's mouth. So with the confusion that was there yesterday, I understand there were people at the time that weren't present, but I know my office was well and truly aware of it. So if we're there and we're present at the time, we'll have those details.
Through you, Mr Mayor, can I respond to that, please?
There's no debate in general business, Councillor Bradley.
Thank you.
Councillor Jackson. Councillor Hall.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Nothing so spicy as that. Just letting everyone know that I'm going to be at the Meadowbrook Shopping Centre on the 26th of February at 5 p.m. If you want to talk to a flesh and blood councillor, You're welcome to come to Meadowbrook Shopping Centre. I'll be there in the flesh and blood.
No AI.
No AI. No. Everything that will come out of my mouth will be unscripted. It'll be directly to you, and there'll be no help from AI commentary or anything else like that. Because I love talking to residents, and I know they'll give me the God honest truth in person, flesh and blood, and not hiding behind a little keyboard on a little Facebook page.
Thank you, Councillor Hall. There you go. The invite is out there. Community members can come see Councillor Hall. Councillor Heremiah, I know you have community meetings too, Councillor Heremiah. Would you like to remind us when yours is as well?
Yeah. Hard to follow that, to be honest. But I'd just like to say a massive thank you to all of the residents who gave up time in the last weekend to spend some time on their doorstep, at the shops and at my mobile office in Park Ridge to give some ideas but also raise some issues in the community. One of the big things that many residents mentioned was how communications can be improved when it comes to roadworks across the city. Now, what many residents mentioned to me is that when they drive on Green Road right now, past one of the iconic local parks in the area, Sunrise Park, they've noticed that there is a slight diversion and many car parks have been taken up by roadworks because of that diversion. So a huge amount of car parks have been taken away from the community to access their local park due to roadworks associated with the development. Now, the community mentioned to me that communication could be better, and they put forward 3 ideas that I think are very practical and should be investigated to see if we can make them a policy of the City Council. And those are that when a big roadwork project happens, that big LED signs are deployed, letting residents know about the impact that those roadworks will have on the use of their roads. Number 2 is that council puts up a Facebook post on the Logan City Council Facebook page and social media feeds that can be edited in case there's weather delays or changes to do with the actual works that go on the ground. The third thing that residents would appreciate is that their local councillor is told about the roadworks that happen in the area, so the local councillor can also inform them. So I think these are very pragmatic, practical ideas, and I look forward to working with the head of planning as well as the head of the roads department at council to see if we can introduce some of these real common sense solutions to make roadworks a bit more convenient and a bit more transparent to the community. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Heremiah. Councillor Fraser, I skipped past you because the TV screen's not big enough. Do you have any general business you'd like to raise?
No general business. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Councillor Fraser has said he has no general business. Councillor Bannon. Councillor Stamp. Councillor Wilcox.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Through you, today I want to formally acknowledge on behalf of the residents of Division 11 the growing impacts of traffic congestion across our road networks and PDA growth areas. Since the return to school and work earlier this year, we've seen significant congestion on our key roads and local streets, often taking 45 minutes to an hour to get out of a local street and onto a main road. And our residents rely on these every single day to move in and out of our suburbs. We all know this is an issue. Our residents certainly know it is, and today I want to put on the record the challenges that they are facing. The rapid growth within the PDA has highlighted what many residents have been telling me and what I personally experience on a daily basis, that our current road network simply does not have the capacity to support the volume of traffic being generated. The existing single-lane configuration of Teviot Road was never designed to support the scale of growth that we are now experiencing today. And I know I have spoken to these issues before, and I acknowledge and I appreciate the substantial planning and design work that has been undertaken since 2020, and that project by project, stage by stage, these upgrades will be delivered. But what I lack and what the community deserves is a firm timeline of when these projects will start. I cannot keep telling residents and motorists that a PDA is out of sequence with the development, and the PDA was declared in 2010. I also can't keep telling residents that these road upgrades were not in our original long-term forecasts, because again, the PDA was declared in 2010. 10 years ago, there was no congestion, no plans and no funding, and today the situation is vastly different. The residents and motorists want and deserve these upgrades. I want to thank Kyla, a Greenbank resident who's recently started a Logan City Council e-petition calling for urgent road infrastructure upgrades and congestion management. While the petition references Greenbank and Newby specifically, the issue extends far beyond these suburbs, with thousands of commuters across the west experiencing same impacts every single day because of the escalating growth driven largely by the PDA. It's putting pressure on the entire road network, so I am encouraging all residents and motorists that drive these roads to sign the petition. I hear from long-term residents who've lived here for more than 20 years, as well as newer residents who've lived here for fewer than 5. Their message is the same. They are frustrated, they are angry, and they want to see something happen. They want action. In just 1 week, the petition has attracted around 2,500 signatures, and I hope that we can reach 10,000 signatures before it closes on the 11th of April. The PDA corridor continues to expand, with new development occurring week after week in multiple locations as the state government continues to unlock land for more housing. But unlocking land for new homes must go hand in hand with delivering the infrastructure required to support them, not just future residents, but the population that is already here and already struggling. This ongoing construction is directly contributing to the congestion we are seeing. Much has been said about the traffic congestion by many people for a long time, but now is the time for all levels of government to work together and respond meaningfully to the infrastructure pressures created by the PDA growth by contributing funding towards the current road infrastructure. Mr Mayor, we all know that Logan is doing the heavy lifting when it comes to providing new homes in the current housing market, particularly in Division 11 and Division 8. And I know, Mr Mayor, you have always been a strong advocate for our community, and with the support of my fellow councillors, I'm hoping that our rough funding application will be successful so that we can continue to deliver the Teviot Road upgrades that our long-standing residents, newer residents and our future residents desperately require. And if you would like to have a chat to me, I also have a mobile office next Tuesday from 8 a.m. till 11 a.m. at the Eve Cafe in the Everleigh Estate. Once you get through the traffic and you can get over to the Eve, pop in for a coffee, have a chat, share your concerns on the traffic congestion, and I'll be there so you can sign the petition. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Wilcox. When I did a mobile office out at Greenbank, that was the top priority that people were raising before school traffic had come back because they knew it would come. So it's definitely front of mind for myself, and it was something that I raised with the Deputy Premier's office along with Park Ridge Road and other congested roads in the city for the potential for RAF funding round 2. Councillor Murphy. Excellent. That brings us to the end of general business. Thank you, councillors. I declare the meeting closed at 10:47 a.m. Enjoy the rest of your week.